listening. It's just so sad that, you know, we don't know how much you need to talk for them to hear.
Yeah.
We don't know how much you need to talk. But it's beautiful. Like I've always, discussed with Mr. Musa. And he's
Live
doing a
now.
great work. Okay, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. You welcome everyone to the Nigerian Diaspora TV, Talk Niger. And today we're discussing about the National Assembly. I want to know how well we are being represented, how well you are being represented at the National Assembly. Our numbers are on the screen. If you have issues, if your representative is doing very well, you can call us too to let us know. If they are doing badly, you can also call us to let us know. With me today is Romeo Yamasha and Stephen Kefas, and joining us later with Ada Enema. You are welcome to and Romeo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. So, like we all know what the topic is. A lot of people have complained. Some people have commended. Though we have more people complaining than more people commending. So, what would we say if I will start with you, Romeo? What do you say about the way the people we have elected are representing us? Normally, we have 360. So yes, 360 representatives at the House of Representatives and. 109 senators. 109, representing 109 senatorial district and 360 constituency, So how would you say, let's focus on this ninth assembly. This is the ninth assembly now. Yeah, so how would you say they have represented the people? Do you think they even realize why they are there or what reason they are there for?
Okay, if we can focus, like you said, to the ninth assembly, I did everything possible within my power to get the right information to disseminate on this platform, so we don't just beat around. If I can speak directly from my own constituency, I'm going to go as far as mentioning names, and I just want to hope that we are okay with that.
Yeah, that's why we are here. Yeah, they are public officials, so you're free to make.
So the representative who's representing my constituency is Katinala, Okum, and Logo. His name is Richard Bande. This is his first time of being in the House of Representatives to represent my people. As we speak, he is yet to have an office in the constituency. He doesn't have an office. So if the people of the community will have to contact him or to follow up on anything that has to do with whatever work he's doing within the constituency as we speak, there is no office. I want to start from there. That's one. And then two, there are a list of projects that he's supposed to do that actually I had highlighted, which was why I didn't want to use the other device, because I had highlighted on the device, and if I mute or minimize the device, I may have a challenge with my records. But I'm trying to now go online with my other device to see how I can be able to highlight his projects. But if I can remember, a couple of the projects that are listed that he's supposed to do includes, and we're not limited to, building certain schools, bridges, roads, connecting between some communities and all of that. But as we speak, there are no records of any work being done. There are no records of any work being done. To a large extent, maybe he's been able to go back home to issue out some crumbs. I will not even call them palliatives. I'll call them crumbs to some few communities. And so far, he is still trying to strategize how to impact his constituency. So far, I will tell you that he has not represented us well, because this is almost 2 years into when he was elected. And I want to believe that.
Yeah, just roughly about a year and 6 months.
Yeah, that's why I say almost.
Oh yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
that's why I said almost 2 years.
Yeah. So
that's why I said almost.
Almost doing 50% of his time.
Thank you.
Elected for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
And nothing has been done. And each of those projects, if I can.
Your mic is on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Sorry?
You were on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I'm back on. Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Each of those projects costs as much as 30 million, 50 million. Each of the projects. I'm going to get the details as the program continues. I'll get it, and I will be more accurate based on the records. Right? And each of those projects.
Your constituency or your senatorial district, which of them?
I'm speaking from the House of Representatives. I'm not talking from the senatorial district. Right? I'm speaking from the House of Representatives. You know, we have the senatorial district. We have the ones who are representing us from the House of Representatives.
That's your constituency, which is actually closer to you.
Which is the constituency is the combination of three. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Logo, and Ukum local governments.
So what did you call the name of the rep?
My rep, his name is Richard Bande. You can check him out and check his works and what he has been doing and what he has done so far. You can check him out. And you know, the thing is this. Yeah,
we'll try to reach him.
Now, good. This is part of what we are doing, and this is what I want us to do, Mr. Nusa. I want us to be able to bring these people to book. The question is this: if me, I'm coming online and I'm saying something that's a lie, please bring them on to argue it and tell me that I'm lying and prove. That's the more reason why I need you to check them out. Because as I speak to you, if they are doing anything, they should have platforms. Like I said earlier, he does not have an office yet.
No constituency office.
Yes, no constituency office, because constituency office is part of his budget. He's supposed to set up a constituency office, employ people to be in that constituency office to supervise implementation of projects within the constituency. So as we speak, there is no constituency office in my constituency.
So do you have his contact? We can call him live now.
His contact, I will get it out. It was on the platform where I was. Like I said, I had arranged myself, but there was also a little hitch, if you remember.
If you get the contact, the telephone number, you can just put it on the
platform.
chat. No, you don't say it out publicly.
No
Yeah,
problem.
we'll call him. So over to you. Over to you. We'll get back to you, Romeo. Over to you.
No problem.
Kefas.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Can you hear me?
So, what will you say? Yeah, we can hear you. What do you have to say about? What's your take on the our representatives? The representatives, we have elected to represent in our constituencies first.
Okay.
As we focus on the 9th Assembly, which is the current one here.
Yeah. I think the truth of the matter is that most of these representatives either don't really know why they are on the floor of the House. Yes, I think most of them don't know why they were elected. And there's one point I want to make very clear here, and that is the fact that these guys were elected as lawmakers, legislators. Now, their primary responsibility is to make laws that will impact on the lives of their constituents.
Yeah.
Now, the issue of constituency project is just a bonus given to the constituencies. But these guys have a core mandate, which is to make laws. So if for us to be fair to them, we need to judge them or assess them
from the laws, right?
Based on their core mandate.
Yeah. So let's take it. Let's go there now. That is where they will feel more.
Unfortunately, they have even failed on the part of their primary responsibility more than
not to even talk
on the other one.
The secondary responsibility.
Yeah. So sometimes I feel maybe because they have seen this thing as a money-making venture. Unlike in the developed countries where these lawmakers understand why they are going into the assembly. So I think that's where the problem lies. So it's a whole lot of issues that we need to look at holistically. But to be frank, these guys have failed woefully. It's not just in my constituency. I've taken time to go through their website, because there's one thing I like about the website of the National Assembly is the fact that they keep updating the performances of these lawmakers. When you go to their website, you will see each representative and the bills he or she has sponsored. So that is very important. And to shock you, sir, that when you visit the site, you discover that only a few of them have actually sponsored bills. The other ones are just there, collecting allowances, collecting salaries, and they're not doing anything. So they are also exploiting the fact that the Nigerian masses seems to be ignorant of why they were even elected. So because, of course, they are representing people who don't really know their left from their right. So these guys are just there. So there's a need for an awareness so that the constituents, the people in the constituency will also understand that, look, these guys were not voted to come and give you one mudu of rice or crumbs, like Mr. Romeo rightly said. That's not why they were voted. So doing that will also help us to hold them accountable for every penny accrued to their office from the federal account. So, with all honesty and sense of responsibility, our representatives in Nigeria have failed. Out of the 300 and something representatives, sir, I can boldly tell you that less than, yes, 360. We have less than 30% that are actually performing in terms of sponsoring bills and moving motions on the floor of the House. The other ones are just there. They are not doing anything, to be honest.
So how about your own? You are Nigerian, so you have a representative. I know we talked about this in the previous program, and
Yeah,
but today we are here for.
Thank you very
So,
much.
will you tell us about
I
yours?
think yes, the person representing me at the federal as a representative, his name is honorable. Sorry, dishonorable, because I can't call him a honorable because his actions have actually made it impossible for me to call him honorable. Gabriel Sally, that's his name.
Yeah.
This guy was elected
Oh,
in
beautiful.
2019. 2019. And for 1 year, 6 months, sir, he has not sponsored a single bill. Now, that's just one of it. He has not sponsored a single bill, yet he's called a lawmaker. Secondly,
Mr. Kefas, can I just interject a little bit?
okay.
Do you know there are a lot of them, if you go back from 1999, that have been entering that space that have never sponsored a bill?
That's true.
So please, so no vex too much about your own. We never sponsor one bill. Go back, please continue. No vex.
Now, but the reason why I'm concerned about my own is because he's a young man. I know the Nigerian youth have been saying that let the youth take over. So if a young man of 35-year-old is there and he can't even sponsor a bill, he can't even contribute to meaningful discussion on the floor of the House, I mean, what are we talking about? So his own is actually a peculiar a problem. He's not capable. Then, aside his primary responsibility, also, this guy has also not been able to carry out the constituency projects mandated by law for him to do. Like I said the other time, I went through his book from the budget office, and I realized that funds were made available for 2 projects for him to carry out in the constituency. One was the supply of fertilizer to farmers. The other one was to buy and supply motorcycles as empowerment to his constituency. But sir, now, constituency project cut across all parties, which means the beneficiaries must not be only from your party. You understand? But this is what this guy did. When he took the money, he went and bought 80 pieces of motorcycles. And those motorcycles are between 200 and 250,000, the market value. Now, when he bought this motorcycle, he organized a fun fair where he invited all his party loyalists and supporters and gave them this motorcycle alongside 10,000 naira. Now, initially, when I saw that, I said, wow, this guy is doing well. At least he has been able to reach out to his party faithfuls and supporters. But when I finally checked the books and I realized that those motorcycles were actually supposed to be constituency projects, my God, I was like, what? You mean this guy carried constituency project, colonized it to himself and his party members? Now that is fraud. I'm saying this thing on air. The records are there for anybody to verify. Now that's fraudulent. That's one part. One, he didn't buy the number of motorcycles he ought to have buy according to the funds allocated by the budget office, which I saw. Then secondly, the fertilizer, which was actually captured and financed in the 2020 budget. Not a single grain of fertilizer has been given to any farmer in my constituency because he's actually representing Kachia, Kagarko Federal Constituency. So there are 2 local governments which he is overseeing. Not a single grain of fertilizer. So when I wrote about it, because 60 million naira, 60 million was actually what was allocated for the supply of fertilizer. So when I wrote about it, some of his supporters came to tell me that he's still working on it. He will supply fertilizer. And I was like, I mean, I don't get it. The farming season is over. So when is he supplying the fertilizer? We're talking about fertilizer here, not food. We're talking about fertilizer, which ought to be used for farming. And the farming season is gone. That's another fraud. And the most baffling part of it is that I'm the only voice speaking against this injustice and fraud. So now people begin to look you like a troublemaker, like you're always after this politician. What is your own business, Seth? You know, so that's how bad things are. So I think these are some of the reasons why. But if there are more voices like trying to challenge some of these irregularities, I think that would force these lawmakers or representatives to begin to sit up, because they know that, look, it's not going to be business as usual. Hello?
Alpha.
So it's not going to be business as usual. Like, okay, the people we are representing are now beginning to understand that, look, they also need to monitor us. So I think the fault is not solely on the part of the lawmakers or representatives. Because for you to have bad representatives or bad leaders, I'm telling you, it's not possible. You must have bad followers first. So they are intertwined. If the followers are good and they know what they ought to do, the leaders will have no option than to sit up. So that is the story of my constituency. It has been terrible this past 1 year, 6 months. No, not a single bill. One motion, yeah, he moved one motion on the floor of the House, but that motion was nothing to write home about, because even the document he was reading from, sir, he could not read it very well. He lacked confidence. And this is a young man. I mean, like, you are young. So what is it? What is really the problem? It's not as if you are sick or you have any problem. So the guy has been a calamity, and he has been a disappointment to the youth of my constituency.
Okay, good. We have his number. We have his number here. Honorable Gabriel Sally Zoc. So let us call him and ask him some of these allegations, you know, to speak on some of these allegations. I hope he picks his call. So if you are a Sally supporter and you can hear us, please tell him to pick his call as we call him now. Let me try one more time. I actually sent a text message earlier that we're going to call, you know, during the program. So I think you should be expecting our call.
Sorry, the number you called was busy. Please try again later.
I'll try one more time. I think someone is actually cutting the call. You know, it just rings.
I'm very sure he won't take your call. I'm very, very sure he won't.
Well, if he's representing the people, he's supposed to be able to take the
call. Sorry, the number you called was busy. Please try again later.
Well, we'll go ahead. We'll still send him. I'm sure he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter. We'll still try to send him messages and call him again, maybe before the end of the program. So what would you say is some of these issues? What causes some of these issues? Is it now, before people said they just elect them there, some people go there for retirement, and when they get there, all they do is sleep and sleep. But now you're talking about a young man. Yes. So what could be that he's not educated or what? So I would love to hear from him, you know, because that's what this platform is all about. Know your rep, you know, and, you know, come and complain. If they are doing well, come and talk about them. If they are doing poorly, come and talk about them, and we'll put it out to the world to hear. So, so what would you say is the issue?
Well, I think it's not as if he's not educated. Um, yeah, he is educated, but you know, you can be educated, you can have certificate, but unfortunately, you may not have the intellectual capacity to engage in discussions, especially in the public. The House of Representatives is a public space. And of course, all their sittings are always recorded. So it's aired. And of course, Nigerians are expected to watch what they are doing there. So I think he lacks the confidence. Confidence is the key word here. Because even when there's a video of him on YouTube, you can check when he was trying to move that motion I talked about. You could see him panicking. That's one. So, and if a youth ventures into politics, the Nigerian kind of politics, which is dangerous, which is a bit dirty, it's expected that you have confidence. You should be able to swim past the murky water of politics and also carry out your duties. So I think in his own case, lack of confidence is there. Then also, yeah, he may have gone to school, but I'm sorry to say, I think the school didn't pass through him. Yeah, going by what I saw. I've not met him in person, but I've seen him speak on TV. In fact, the last time he appeared on Sunrise Daily, Channels TV, it was an embarrassment to the youth of my constituency and even the state at large. Like, we feel very disappointed that, look, this is one of us who is in his 30s, and yet he can't even express himself. He can't even answer direct questions. So that is one of the reasons why he's shying away from his responsibility, because what will I say? If he's sponsoring a bill, what will he say on the floor of the House? So I think that's where the problem lies.
So apart from sponsoring bill, you know, they oversee the constituency project. I thought they even, but I think they used to give them the funds, because I thought they gave them funds for constituency projects.
Sure.
But yeah, so far for the 16 months, what has been given for constituency projects?
Now, that is what I said earlier. 2 projects in the 2020 budget, 2 projects were allocated to my constituency. Now, this also, in fact, he is the first timer on the floor of the House. His supporters try to excuse his poor performance to the fact that he is new in the House of Representatives. But we have another first timer representing Zangon Kataf Jaba, who has done wonderfully well. In fact, he is also a first timer, but he was able to lobby more constituency projects than the one representing me. Maybe because the other one is sound, he's learned, he's exposed, he was able to do that. And he's carrying out this thing effectively in his constituency. In my own case, even the 2 that were approved and financed by the government, he has not carried out those 2 projects. The fertilizer is 0, because not a single grain of fertilizer has been given to any farmer in my constituency. Where are the funds? It means it has been diverted. The motorcycles, he bought, let me say, 50% of what he ought to have purchased, and he gave it to his party members. Yeah. That is illegal. That is fraud, because those motorcycles were to be used as empowerment to the constituency, cut across parties, but he gave it to his party loyalists. Now, that is a campaign strategy. He's using our constituency funds to prepare for the next election, which is bad.
Anyway, let's try him one more time, you know, and see, so that we'll give him the opportunity to speak. We'll still go on his social media to try to contact him. But so Romeo, you have your number now?
I'm trying to get it. Sorry, I had to go off because I needed to just manage some pressures and things that was happening.
Sorry, the number you called is busy. Please try.
Oh, it's
Sorry,
obvious it does.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry.
Yes,
So
we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I just said I had to go off briefly to manage some few things around me. But I'm still trying to go. You know, I've switched. You must have noticed I've switched devices. Yeah. So I'm trying to go back to that page where I can get his number from, so we can be able to place a call to him. But you know, just to further buttress as we try to get his number, because the truth is this: even when you call them and we bring them up here, they are just going to come up with rhetorics, and
but at least let them have the opportunity to defend, because all this for now.
Fine. We still have some little time, and I will do my best.
They go ahead and start avoiding the calls. That means they actually are guilty of something or they have something to hide.
Good. So
if you permit this platform
me,
to actually, yeah, go ahead.
If you permit me to also just still buttress certain points, you know, in concurrence to what Mr. Kefas has said and has been saying, you know, with the reality of what we are faced with is there. And there's so much we cannot begin to overemphasize. You know, we cannot overemphasize the reality. The reality is the reality. The reality is the fact that there are no jobs. The reality is the fact that our people are unemployed. The reality is the fact that our people are hungry. The reality is the fact that our people are uneducated. The reality is the fact that we are backward. The reality is the fact that some of us have had to break our backs and our necks to acquire the knowledge that we have. And it is in the midst of this breaking our back and our necks that some people have actually even gone out of their way to do things they are not even supposed to do. Because I'll tell you, a lot of people who have actually gone out of their way to just remain relevant in this space called Earth, just because they just feel they do not have, they are not relevant. So they have to just go out of their way to do certain things to remain relevant. And for God's sake, we're not supposed to be in that kind of situation. If certain people just do what they have to do, you get what I'm saying? Like I said, during
apart from the people now, apart from the representatives now, the people they are being represented, you know, they represent the people they represent. Like Kefa said, they too also have their own fault too, because if you are not speaking out. Yeah, I expected that by now, because the telephone lines are there, you know, to call. Every Nigerian have a representative. I expected by now the telephone lines will be. Yeah, go ahead.
Augusta. You know, we are all Nigerians, and I don't want to put Nigeria in a box, because a lot of us have proven that Nigeria is beyond that box. So I speak from a perspective of a lot of people who have been boxed. These are people who have been programmed. They can't reason. They can't reason out of that box. They've been boxed in. So it will require you and me, who have been liberated. Because I believe strongly that I'm liberated. I'm not under any spell. I'm not under any as I speak to you, there are a lot of things I'm supposed to be probably doing in my state. Probably I would have taken an appointment in my state. I've had a whole lot of opportunities and privileges to have actually been part of a whole lot of things, but I rejected a whole lot of them. Why? Because I don't want to be held bound. I rejected a whole lot of things even before today. From age 20, I've been rejecting things. Why? Because there's something I'm searching and yearning for. And I'm still driving in that direction. So what am I trying to say in a nutshell? We are in a country where these things have been programmed deliberately. So I'm not justifying the people who have even submitted themselves to the program. I'm not justifying them, because it's still a thing of choice. because I've had my own choices to have made, to have submitted myself to certain things. But as we speak, we are in that time and age where we all need to begin to be active. We must take responsibility. We must begin to wake up these people and see how we can be able to move ourselves out of the current situation we are in so that we cannot begin to face, for instance, the kind of things we faced in the past 2 weeks. We were not supposed to have a productive thing that started as EndSARS, ended up with looting and hunger and all of that, and angry people who are hungry. It wasn't supposed to get there. That was supposed to be, or I believe it still is, but a lot of people cashed in. A lot of the hungry people, a lot of people who were even looting those warehouses were not hoodlums. They're hungry Nigerians who are ignorant. And I want to pray and hope those hungry Nigerians who were looting will not repeat the same mistakes they made, because they are the same people who will go to the ballot box and go to the polling unit and vote the same people back in. I want to really hope and pray they will not.
Just because before elections, sometimes they try to make the people very hungry. Before elections, they now bring out some peanuts.
Yes.
And on election, they will just share, some peanuts that will put the people in bondage for another 4 years.
4 years.
Exactly. And it may seem like 4 years.
And these 4 years have been happening. These 4 years have been happening, 4 years to 4 years, 4 years to 4 years. Now we are in, if we look at from this second democratic dispensation, this is how many years between 1999 and 9? That's how many years?
21.
1999 and now. How many
21
years?
21.
21 years.
21 years in one day.
Oh God, you know what it means? Any child that was given birth to in 1999 and now, that is a formed child, formed with the mentality of the corruption and the deception. If the child has not been under the tutelage of a sane person, you can only imagine the kind of mentality that child has been formed by. What we are faced with is a catastrophe. And so if we cannot begin to wake up, you see, the reason why I'm so interested in talking about this thing, and if you would permit me, Mr. Kefas, why I was not even talking about the laws, because they are lawmakers. I didn't even want to go to the lawmaking. I was more concerned about that which has to do with the service of the people. Now, the laws are good, because the thing is this: when they make the laws, it takes time for the implementation of the laws. Why not look directly to the one that has to do with the money, cash, given for the implementation of certain projects? Laws have to do with documentations and certain books that some of these people are ignorant about. But cash, for instance, which I'm just trying to say, okay, if you have a sane representative, for instance, that sane representative can actually even begin to say, okay, let me even rechannel some of these funds in re-educating my people, in making them understand their rights, in making them understand that they can recall me if I'm not doing things right.
We'll get to that one. We'll call shortly. Yeah, go ahead.
It will make, so these are the things that I believe the representatives, the senators are supposed to even be doing, because they are the closest to the people, apart from the local government chairman. Because the closest people to the government, or to the society, are the House of Representatives, the councillors, the House of Assembly members. The thing is this: how many of them even go back home to even do town hall meetings? Because I believe these are some of the things they're supposed to be doing. Go back home, do town hall meetings, enlighten your people, let them know if there are challenges, if monies that have been approved for constituency projects have not been released. Go back home, let them know these monies have not been released. Reason why we're having delays. And these monies have been released. This is how we have budgeted to use them. And if you communicate to these people are not mad. They will reason with you. But we don't have people who are even doing that. They just come, do things when they want, at their will. Oh God, what's going on? See, these are part of the things, like for instance, what has transpired in the past 2 weeks. started productively, but it was hijacked not just by hoodlums, but by hungry and angry Nigerians. Let's not forget that. Because each time it is said that it was hijacked, they say that there are just hoodlums. No, not hoodlums alone. They were hungry. Go back and look at the videos of all those looting. Are you telling me all the crowd that were there are looters? There are a lot of people who came there to loot, who were not looters, who have never looted in their lives before, but they saw an opportunity to get something and they went there.
Exactly.
Some law enforcement agents were even
Agents were looting, were
parking.
carrying. That's the situation we are faced with. And if nobody's seeing the reality of what we're faced with, we're going to continue to just be talking rhetorics, speaking grammar, and this thing will explode on all of us. And some of us who have been following these processes, who have been speaking on these issues, are tired. And we have been doing, I can, like, for instance, each time I speak and I want to speak about what I have been doing, I will make examples. As I speak to you, there's a program we're doing that we just reintroduced that is actually going viral online. It's related to Benue because that's my first point of call. Of course, Nigeria, Africa is my responsibility, but I always go home and build from there. You know, so let's go. Let the program continue. Let me know. Because Oga Nusa, Oga Kefas, I know go lie now.
Anyway, if you are watching us on Facebook, please kindly host a watch party, share the broadcast, invite your friends. This is a national issue that concerns every Nigerian. You know, invite your friends, host a watch party on your page. The number is there. If you have a contribution to make, if you've been poorly represented, please call the number and let us hear, let the world hear, you know, how well you are being represented. The number is there on your screen. Call, don't be too shy, don't be oppressed, don't be boxed to a corner. Don't say it is not my business, it is your business. If this continues, the more you let it continue, the worse the situation becomes. You have the opportunity. You don't know what that your telephone call or that your contribution can do. When you call, when these people know that, oh, these guys have woken up, the people who represent have woken up, they too, they will wake up. It's because they know there are no consequences, you know, to the rubbish and the nonsense that they are doing. That's why they continue doing it. 2023 is coming again. Some of them, like Romeo said, have been there since 1999. Yes. Some have been there since 2003. Some see it as a retirement package. Just go there, collect your, how much did they get in a year? 20-something million, I suppose. Just go there, get it, 20-something million. I was reading today that the senators collect 200 million yearly for constituency projects. That's apart from other constituency projects too. So how well are you being represented? Is it just to go and I won't blame the people because there are some people too that just go there, hey, give me money, and they'll give you peanuts instead of building infrastructures, you know, that will help your life, that will help your constituency, that will help your children. You know, you just collect peanuts and sell your destinies. You know, we actually need to wake up. This Rankadede spirit, Rankadede, and they give you, when I say Rankadede, I'm not referring to the North alone, you know.
We have our own,
in the South,
undersay. You are telling somebody that God should add the person to continue to steal you more, and God will continue to add him, he will steal more from you.
So if you are a Nigerian and you're watching us right now, I encourage you, for the sake of your country, share the message. So now let's get things right. And so, Kefas,
yes,
have you ever been to the constituency office of your rep? Or
you
is there, if there's one? Office? Yeah.
Well, to be frank, I don't know. We don't have any, to the best of my knowledge, because yesterday, I toured my local government, the 10 wards of my local government. I toured it yesterday. And I know a lot of people will be surprised. What is he doing? I'm not campaigning. In fact, I'm not even ready. I'm not even interested in running for political office. But then I try as much as
No,
possible.
you are not interested yet.
I don't even know if I'll be interested in the future because sometimes I'm afraid that the system, I don't know. But anyway, that's by the way. So I went around
Okay,
my
yeah.
local government yesterday, the 10 words of my local government, every village, or at least almost every village. I couldn't find any constituency office, which means it doesn't exist. If it exists, I would have seen it. So it's we don't have any, and we've always not had any, even before now. I don't know. Probably the previous ones had. I wouldn't know. But since we are dwelling much on the Ninth Assembly, I've not seen any constituency office, even though two local governments make up my constituency. So I don't know whether he went and cited it in the other local government, but I can always put a call to find out. But I doubt if there's any.
And they're supposed to have in each local government. I don't know if the way it operates here, you know, my own congressman, it covers covers counties. We have counties here, then cities. We do city, county, yeah. So it covers, I think, like three counties, yeah, three counties, which is like three local governments, yeah. And for
Wow.
if I want to have a meeting with my congressman, you know, all I need to do is to go to.
Sir.
No, this is the system we are in Nigeria. So if you want to copy something, you copy it right. No? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
The system works.
I just
ahead.
got this up. I want to just read this out very briefly. Yeah. Now, my constituency is made up of Katsina-Ala, Logo, Ukum Federal Constituency. And of course, it's one of the 11 federal constituencies at the House of Representatives from Benue State. Since 2019, blah, 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 blah. Now, the council words within that constituency are 35. The polling units are 541. The coalition centers, of course, primary coalition center is in Katsina-Ala, which is one of the local governments within Benue State. Now, the constituency consists of Katsina-Ala, Logo, and Ukum local government areas. It is made up of 541 polling units in 35 council wards. This is according to INEC, because INEC are the ones who are saddled with the responsibility to carry out this research. Now, at the 2006 census, the combined population was 612,000 people within this federal constituency from the Federal Republic of Nigeria, from that, census. Now, the federal constituency has been represented by various persons as shown on the table below. From 1999, it was, of course, Gabriel Suswam. He represented for 8 years, so that I can just save us with time. 2007 to 2011, we had Emmanuel Memga Udende. I don't want to bore you with the political party, or should I be mentioning the political parties too?
No need for the party because...
Good. So in 2011 to 2015, Emmanuel Memga Udende still also switched from a political party to another and was there. And then from 2015 to 2019, he also did. Now, from 2019 to 2023, the Ruben Bande that I mentioned his name earlier was the one. Now, these are some of the projects that have been listed that are supposed to have been executed between 1999 and now. Oga, if I begin to list them to you, I can categorically tell you that at least the ones now my constituency when no day. I'm still trying to get to that site. I can always call the number, and I don't know why the site is just not open. But I'm just giving you a realistic problem. The reason why we're hammering on them is because that's the focus of the program. That's the focus of the program. Yeah, that's the focus of the program. Because if we're not focusing on that, we would have been able to expatiate and highlight the challenges from the different perspective. But because it's on the focus of the program, I will go back and say that these are the people that if they had, for instance, I'll give you an instance, and I'm going to share this, and I'm going to be as open as possible because it has to do with me as an individual, right? In 2002. Yeah, 2002. No, 2003. Yeah, 2003. I came in contact with my representative, Gabriel Suswan, then a member of the House of Representatives. Of course, as a creative, I had my creative products that I wanted to put out in the market space. And of course, I was doing everything possible within my power to connect with who and whoever can buy into my product. So somebody took me to his office in the House of Representatives and I played my video and he was elated. And he was like, wow, you are from my constituency, I will support you. And guess what? 2 days after that day, he lost his brother. And the burial of his brother was 2 days before my album, a day before my album launch. In between, I was privileged to meet with him again. He said, I have promised you that I will come for your album launch. I will come. Just be rest assured. Long and short of the story, he made it there and supported me. Now, the basis from why he supported me was because I am from his constituency. Because he said that if I am from the same place from him and I have this kind of creativity and talent, I'll support you, which he did. Now, after that period, he eventually became the governor of Benue State, now occupying a bigger office where we can now begin to talk issues, where we can expatiate things beyond me, which I presented. God and heaven and earth will bear me witness. I did a lot of presentations. At that point and at that time, nobody gave me attention. Now, what am I saying? I had an opportunity.
Let's add, he became governor of his whole state, very busy. You know, that's why we have broken down to the local government, House of Assembly representing you, then the House of Representatives, you know, representing you. Those they're actually closer to you. Like I was saying earlier, the system we copy in Nigeria, which is the American system. Yeah. My congressman, if I want my congress, as little as maybe I want a family member to come visit me and the embassy is refusing to give the family member visa. I can go to the three counties. Yeah, the three counties. For every county that is under his district.
There's an office.
There's an office, and there is a representative there that will represent him.
Are those county offices?
Yes.
At the county office.
Not just county offices. Not county, at what they call it. Yeah, county offices. No, even city. In every county, one county can have 6 cities. My own county has about 6 or 5 cities. Have so 6 several for every city.
There's representative.
There's one representative
in each of those cities.
Each of the cities. So if I want him now, I don't go direct. I'll go to that person representing him here. Then that one will now present it to him. You know, sometimes that one can do, he has the mandate to do a lot of things, you know. He has the mandate, if it's just like letter of recommendation, it doesn't need to go bother him, you know. There's already a template, you know, he can handle that. But if it's something he needs to escalate, needs to escalate to the congressman, he will do that. Then you can have a meeting with the congressman. Then come down to the city. City is not even local government. Or city is like a council, but it's as big as local government. That's where you have the mayors, the city mayor. My son is an artist, so he does a lot of artwork, right from maybe school, yeah. And now he has so much improved because of the, what do they call it, the encouragement given to him by
from the system,
the city.
within the community.
Yeah, he put it, he was doing, he had a lot of, what do I call it? I wish I could show them a lot of old work that he had done for years, so he wanted to do, he now said, okay, he wanted to get rid of them so that he can come up with the new ones. So he just did something like a home exhibition, to give them out at discount prices.
Very discounted.
And he put it on Facebook, on Facebook that, so from this time to time, I'm giving out this stuff, a home exhibition in the garage at home. A lot of people came from the city to give him that support. I was shocked. Who came? The mayor and his wife, they came too. It's not like he went to, normally when they go for the big stuff, it's well arranged, and different people come, But this one was in the house. The mayor himself came, No special invitation, it was a general invitation, but just because I am the mayor of this, he is the mayor of the city, come and show support to your people. So tomorrow, tell me if that kind of person is contesting or wait for re-election, won't you vote for him?
You will. I will.
Hello?
We will. Is Kefa still there? Kefa's mic is mute.
He's on mute, yeah.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, of course I will vote for him because he has shows that he's close to be somehow.
If I can just quickly respond, as brief as possible, these are things that we so desire in our society, Oganusa, and we are hoping and looking forward to how we can begin, because I want to begin to look at the solutions, because if we dwell so much on the problems, we will fail we might delay on the issues. And the issues for me are, one, the question I would like to ask, because I want to do a presentation, because when we get to points like this, we should not be doing much of talking, but we should be more physical. This is my PVC. This is my PVC. It's very authentic from the INEC. I voted the last election. I think that's the first time I voted in Nigeria during the last election. And I know categorically who I voted for. And I know the kind of work I had to do to get this. I didn't pay nobody, but I followed the due process. The due process, it was so tedious. But I followed the process and I got this PVC. So by God's grace, I have it. A lot of times, Nigerians say it doesn't work, but I have it. So as I speak to you now, I have every reason to speak where this is concerned, where voting is concerned. Because as it is, we cannot upturn a democratically elected government, even if the government is not working right. The highest we can do is to protest.
But the good thing for those that we are focusing on today, the representatives, you can recall,
recall, which was why, okay, you wanted us to wait. You didn't want us to go there yet.
House of Representatives, and you can recall your
we can recall,
yes.
Which was what I was waiting for us to start talking about. Because, for instance, if we have to start working towards recalling, I will start a movement of recalling as many as I can, at least from my constituency, and I can motivate many around me to begin to understand that they can recall if they are not.
That is what we're pushing for right now. Because I and Ada, we discussed yesterday. I wonder why she's not around. 2 minutes before the program, we still discussed. She was supposed to
because they tried it with Dino Milai. Dino Milai, of course, I think it was very political, and the heat was very, very hot. But the question now is that with the state of the mind of the nation and the state where we are, if we begin to move in that direction, my brother, before 2023, we can recall up to 10. Yes, if
Beautiful.
they can move with this the same energy that they applied in doing NSAS, if we can move with that same energy in recalling representatives that are not representing us in our concern, we can.
The recall should not be political. If they are not representing you, because
if that is the reason.
The first thing you do, because, yeah, I read about it. Ada sent me material. The first thing you do is a petition to INEC, and you must get a certain, a certain number of.
Dino Milai's case opened our eyes, and we all realized how the processes went. Some of us followed it.
Okay,
sir.
Yeah, I'm here. And every Nigerian listening to me right now,
Yeah.
Even if we had gotten your rep to speak, whatever he says, whether he defends himself or not, the truth remains the truth, and the truth is the results, know.
Sure.
So the result is there, and the results. If the result is there, it's not only you that will see it. The whole,
exactly.
Excuse me, will know it. If it's not there, everybody will know it.
Yeah.
You can't take this as witch hunting or anything, If it's not performing well, as the voice of the people, I will encourage you to start the process. You can start, what do you call it? You can mobilize with not WhatsApp group now, because WhatsApp has limited number of people for groups. I think their groups don't go beyond 250. You can create a WhatsApp, what do you call it, Telegram group, or social media group for your constituency.
Up to 1,000 plus.
1,000 or more than even. So I don't know what the total number of voters, because those who will do it must be registered voters that can sign that petition.
Good, nice. See, that is another issue, which was why I started this my own conversation with my BBC.
Not just the vote. If you do not vote, it will not vote. Yeah.
You
go
see,
ahead.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kefa.
Yeah. I have a document here which I obtained on how to recall a legislature. According to the 1999 Constitution, it allows citizens the power to remove elected officials before the expiration of their term. Now, and why do you initiate recall?
On what basis?
Yes, why do you initiate recall? A lawmaker can be removed if his constituents feel that he is not acting in the best interest of his constituency. You understand?
And what is the validity of their recall?
Yeah, I'm still there. Or he is acting in the interest of his political party. Now, who can be recalled? Of course, members of legislature. Is recall any good? Yes, it is. Now, these are the steps. 1, submit a petition alleging a loss of confidence in the elected member, which is signed by more than half of the registered voters within the legislature's constituency. Now, this is submitted to the chairman of INEC. That's the first step. Now, more than half of the voters. So if you have 10,000 voters that have voted him, you need at least 5,001 to sign the petition. Then 2, referendum by INEC. Within 90 days, INEC must conduct a referendum in the legislature's constituency based on the petition submitted. That's the second step. 3, affirmative vote by simple majority. Now, an affirmative vote by a simple majority of the registered voters at the referendum conducted within the legislature's constituency will deem such a member recalled. This process is to verify the true intent of the signatures received. Now, 3 now has to do with 1. 3 is simply to confirm that those signatures in 1 are genuine. Then 4, by-election. INEC conduct by-election to replace the recalled person. So it's not actually very hard on paper but I don't know realistically
It's crazy.
how it's going to be. Yeah, but on these steps, I think they are doable.
It has to start from somewhere, you know.
Yes, no.
Let it be on record that this representative was recalled. The process started. You understand? The process started.
Yes.
Like, you know, when the House here in the US, you know, House of Representative wanted to impeach the president. They knew it wasn't going to fly at the Senate, but that didn't stop them because they wanted it to be on record that this president was impeached. Whether the Senate did not approve it or the Senate did not remove him, that was not their aim. They just wanted it to be there. Because for life it's going to be there. When they want to call presidents that have been impeached, it will be there. It's there for life, you know.
Yes.
So at least let the process start, you know. There was an attempt to remove this person. That means the people don't have confidence in him. Then when your party wants to nominate you for the next election, they will look at you because it's competitive. They say, oh no, this one is bad market. Try to recall him. If we present him again, we might lose that seat because the party too is interested in the seat. We might lose that seat. Then they don't give the person the nomination, you know. Then you have done something. So whether it works or it doesn't work, it will work. There's still a positive effect, you know. Let it be on record that the process started. So if you feel it's not working well, start the group, start mobilization. We try to call him now, they were cutting the phone. Start the mobilization, go ahead with it. You know, go ahead.
Okay.
INEC will not say they will not accept your petition once you have the number of signatories. They won't say they won't accept it. They will accept it. No matter what they try, at least the world will hear that trying to recall a certain House of Representative member or a certain senator or a certain House of Assembly member, then the whole country will wake up. People now start, you see the way the NSA started from somewhere, before you know it spread around the nation. Let it start. It has to start from somewhere. Some people don't even know. They don't know. They are not aware that there's any provision to recall your representative. I saw Ada, you're welcome. Hello, Ada. Can you unmute your mic, please?
Sorry, thank you. Hi, Nosa.
You're welcome. Yeah, so we've been talking about the topic, you know, how well are you being represented at the House of Representatives? You know, we don't have any caller yet, surprisingly. I want to believe that they're all well represented, you know, but if they are not, even if you're well represented, you can call and just let us know what your rep is doing. I know a certain member of the House of Representatives. I know what he has been doing even before he got into. Unfortunately, it's not my own constituency, but I know what he has been doing. You know, I know the projects he has been doing in Bielsa before he got into the House of Representatives. So I can imagine what he's doing right now, even before he became a member of the House. I see what he was doing for his own constituency, you know, and now he's a member of the House. That's Professor. I know he's been doing very, very well. I know he's been doing very, very well. So there are some of them that are doing well, and there are some of them that don't even know what they have gone there to do.
But how do you rate somebody that's doing well, though? No, sir. What scale do you measure how well a person is doing?
Fine. They major, like Kefa said, the primary assignment that they have is to actually make laws, pass bills, you know, raise motions, you know. That's their primary assignment. Then they now have the constituency projects. Then they have oversight duties too. So I'm talking from the constituency now because that's what's close to the people. Like Romeo said, the laws you make, when you pass the bill, it takes time. It needs to, the president needs to take it, needs to go to the Senate. That's a long process, even though that's their primary assignment, you know. But when the people recently, the president I was talking about now, the people had something for him to give him an award, which means they are actually feeling the effects, that they have a representative somewhere. So that's what I based my own judgment on. So you can go ahead and tell us what's your own experience, or what's your thoughts?
With my representative? At least in my constituency, in my local Anambra, I think the senators are more louder than the House of Reps. I don't really feel much presence. Not me though, but when you interview the people or during the elections, they are really more interested in the Senate than the House of Reps. But then again, I'll give you an example. Senator Andy Uba represented Anambra South for a long time, and in the last election, he was voted out from the primaries. And when we observed that election, we had to ask some of their people, because I'm not from there, that's Anambra South. And then they said they had never felt his presence as a senator. For me, that was surprising because he actually came out to run for governor. And because I was not very conversant with whatever he was doing in his constituency, I thought, okay, this one, he's been in power for a while, so he's a name that's known. But the people said no, he's not doing anything there. So they had to take the party. I mean, it was very bad that they had to, usually in Anambra, it's either APGA or PDP. When they don't want an APGA candidate, they just naturally tilt to PDP. Or maybe, say for federal elections, it's usually PDP. For state elections, it's APGA. APC doesn't even practically exist for now, and then other parties. But with Andy Uba, they had to abandon both APC and PDP and go to a brand new party. I think Ifeanyi Uba came out of YPP or so, just because they wanted that particular candidate. So a lot of people, then I kept asking them, so what was it that he wasn't doing? Because I needed to understand from what angle they were judging him based off of. So they said he was supposed to build roads for them. Even the road leading to his own father's compound wasn't tarred and all that. Then for me, I was like, okay, so it's his work to actually construct these roads and all that. And then they said, well, even his constituency projects, he they chop everything, including the constituency money. So because of that, we don't want them again. So that's a sad thing, because this is somebody that's been in power since the beginning of the democracy. In 1999, he was SA to the president on special duties, and then from there went on to come home, vie for Senate, and then went to Senate. So according to their people, it's only when election comes, you remember that he's from Anambra. But after election, he will become Abuja senator. So I think that's the problem with a lot of these senators, or House of Reps members. Sometimes we also, the people, we don't really understand their primary jobs, which is, to actually make the laws. And then them too, they don't even, the little constituency thing that they were supposed to bring home to the people. I think when maybe because they don't live close to the people or what, they just forget about it and just go to that house and sleep the whole time, only to come back 4 years later. So I think we also need to educate the people on what these laws that these senators are supposed to pass, these bills are, because there are so many bills, a lot of them need to be reviewed anyways. A lot of them are there, but people don't even know that they are there. I don't know whose work it is to even make people to know that they are there, and then what's obtainable, and then what we need to amend, that kind of thing. So generally, I don't think that the National Assembly has really done their job to even check. Another important thing that they have to do is to check the judiciary and the executive government. But then it's almost like they romance the executive government and the judiciary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's almost like so there is no consequence for anything. A chief judge can just a president can wake up, remove the chief judge, National Assembly is okay. The executive can just wake up, do what they like, the National Assembly is okay. Like at least in the recent times, I haven't actually felt the National Assembly stamp their foot down against one particular bill and say no. So does it mean that everything that is being passed to them is all OAS member? You know, like you could, just like you said, like and then it's almost like the House of Reps and the Senate, they are so in sync and all that. Like even in the US where there is maybe there's a majority in the Senate that are Republicans, there are some issues that you still see Republican senators say, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't believe in this one. That we're in the same party, it's country first, it's not party first, you know?
Yeah.
But here we practice eye service politics, and that's why we're where we are. So like the National Assembly is not representing well, first of all, because they don't even check any arm of the government, you know? Like it's almost like, oh, they do this thing, they go, you know? That's what I feel. Or that's what I've come to gather from interviewing a lot of people.
Yeah. So there are two responsibilities.
Primary
making laws.
Mm-hmm.
Primary responsibility, making laws. Then secondary, you know, the constituency projects and the oversight.
No, and checking the other ones, checks and balances, checking the other arms of government anyways.
The other arms of government too, yeah. The thing is this, you need, because especially the House of Representatives, they're the ones closer to the people, because that's not senatorial district now. That's constituency, you know, which is closer to the people. You are there to represent the people. You are the voice of the people. So if there's a disconnect, they don't. I know of a senator that was very vocal in the Senate, very vocal, and I was in his constituency, you know. Thank you. You were there with me, Ada, but I won't mention the place.
Where?
When they were discussing. No, I don't want to mention the place. I'll remind you. You know, maybe you didn't understand what was going on.
We don't mind mentioning the names. I mentioned Andiuba.
No. I'm mentioning names. Yeah, this is a different issue now. I'm just talking about what do you call it? Yeah. The people now said what is said. Then I now asked her, this person is supposed to become, this person is good enough to become governor because it's so loud, you know, in the national level, so loud, everybody knows it. And I said, politics is local. He is loud, but the people don't know him. They don't know him, and he doesn't know them. That's first person, the person that said that even is his friend. That even said that. Then I asked some other people too. The same thing too. I said, this one will be your next governor. I said, no. The person did not even come back to the Senate. He did not come because the people, there was a disconnect. It was making noise up there, you know. But then people elected you. You went there to represent the people. There must be that sync. They must feel you, you know. They must feel you. It's not by coming to give them one module of rice and module of gari, and when it's time for every 4 years. Like Kefas and Romeo said, their representatives don't even have constituency offices, local offices in the constituency. So then how do you, if you want to meet your rep, now your congressman, how do you meet him? Is it on, most of them it's only on Twitter or Twitter or Facebook. And those accounts are not even run by them. They have people who run the accounts for them. So probably they will not even hear your complaints because they have aides that run all those accounts that will never go and tell them that, oh, Oga, they just go to say everything is fine. They are supporting you. They are supporting you. That's what they say you do. You have supporters. So they don't hear these things. So then they need to be that connection, you know, so that the people will feel you because you are there to represent them. If otherwise, you might be up there shouting. While some even are just up there, they don't say anything, no word. They don't pass any, sponsor any bill, nothing, no word for 365 days. Yet they have been, I think our legislators are the most well paid in the world. So if you're well paid, you should, I don't have an issue with their salary. They want people to say reduce their salary. I don't have an issue with it because no one there made that law, for them to be paid what they are paid. But if you are paid that much, if you are paid as the best legislators in the world, then your performance should be the best in the world. Not like and just go there to sleep and collect money. That's what I'm against. So,
So I have issues with
Kefas,
their
over to
salary.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes. You see, it is quite unfortunate that we are where we are today. And this thing is like a cancer. It's all over the country. It's not peculiar to northern Nigeria, where I and Romeo come from. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
These lawmakers are not doing well. In Lagos, for instance, I'm sure most of us have seen the video of the lawmaker, the lady who called Nigerian youth children. We may also have seen Desmond Elliott. Now, you see, there's this picture on the social media about the souvenir she gave out during her birthday. And the Indomie, the cartons of noodles given, you could see it written COVID-19 on it, which means these are palliatives. These are palliatives meant for people. Now, she kept it to herself. There's another lawmaker in Lagos. They call it, is it AGB or something? I've forgotten his name, Teslim something. During the crisis that rocked Lagos recently, people went to his house and took palliatives. And this guy shamelessly came out and said that he was planning to share the palliatives during his birthday. Now, this is COVID-19 palliatives. So now, when you look at all this thing, you will understand that these guys don't even know why they are there. That's the truth. They don't know why they are there. I think our politics is too lucrative. Our political offices are too lucrative. It's so juicy that everybody just want to get there. So this is a serious problem. If you ask an average Nigerian lawmaker, why are you there? I'm telling you, it's just for the money, the naira and kobo. They are not there to represent the people. Yes, they are not there to represent me and you. They are there for their pockets. And that is why
compensate.
Yes, that's why I don't know how many of you listened to Ndume during an interview when Ndume was telling the journalists that journalists should help them talk to the Nigerian masses so that they don't come for them. Now, if you listen to Ndume very well, he was serious about it. He was already panicking because they know that, look, a day will come, the Nigerian masses will get this awareness that these guys have been milking us dry. What are they even doing? If you ask me, the House of Representatives and National Assembly, I'm telling you, they are useless as far as I'm concerned because they don't even checkmate the executive. They are more of rubber stamp. Whatever Buhari brings there, stamp and go. Instead, sometimes when they pass their bill and send to Buhari, Buhari will refuse to sign. You understand? The president will refuse to assent to their bills. But whatever the presidency sent to them, they will stamp and send it back to the presidency. So it shows that we are in a serious quagmire.
It's Ninth Assembly. That's why I say we should focus on the Ninth Assembly.
So we are in a very dangerous situation, and I don't know how we'll come out of it. So I think, by and large, it boils down to sensitizing the grassroots, the constituents. We need to sensitize them. Deji Adeyanju wrote something on Twitter today, which is very critical. He said, no matter how we shout and speak grammar on social media, these grammars do not affect the man in a village in Katsina. He doesn't know what you are saying on Twitter. So once it's election year, these lawmakers go back to their constituency with money. And of course, everybody will queue up to vote for them again. So I think we need to change strategy. We need to start going back to the grassroots, because it is even a crime for a lawmaker to carry constituency project to go and keep in his house in Ibadan. A senator kept motorcycles and other empowerment materials in his personal house. These are constituency project materials for empowerment. Why are you keeping them in your house? So you see, what they do is this. They try to personalize or try to paint a picture that these materials are from their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the ignorance or the illiteracy level in the grassroots, they don't even know that these monies are actually given to buy these things for them. They see it as the politicians are doing them favor. That's why 2 weeks ago, my local government chairman looked at me, as old as I am, and told me that I'm an ungrateful person, that I'm ungrateful, that he is trying to fix the electricity in my village, and I'm criticizing him. My local government chairman, sir. So when I look at it, I say, God, this is how terrible it is.
Responsibility.
Yes, but it's telling me that I'm ungrateful, that I should be thanking him instead of criticizing him. So that's how bad it is. Our politicians try to personalize whatever they do so that you look like they are doing you a favor, like it's from their pockets. So I think we need to change that mentality. I don't know how possible it is, but I think it's doable. And I'm already starting something along that direction.
Yeah, beautiful. We need to do that. That before I get to you, you see, like recently, the palliatives here, you know, when the Department of Agric was sending out food to people here in the US, you know, and the president wrote a letter, like a personal letter. So they now made it look as if it was the president that actually was the one sending it to people. A Nigerian even did a video, you know, and see what the president of the United States did for us. This is how they campaign. Look, see what they it. The department had to cry out that no, this thing is the department, is not president. This is government. You know, you need to separate it. When they sent out the stimulus checks to people, it came with a letter from the president signed by the president. Everyone received it, but people spoke out. No, this is not president's special personal money. This is the state. It's the state that is doing it. You know, in Nigeria, will any ministry go and cry out that, oh, this is not Buhari that is doing it, or this is the federal government? You know, if Buhari writes a letter. So we need to, you know, let the people wake up to speak out. Sorosoke, that's why you see it, Sorosoke. What do you call it in Hausa? Please, can you help me?
Speak louder.
To speak up.
Are you Magana Sose? Are you Magana?
Ada, you Igbo people. So beautiful. Let me use Edowa, Tailadea, Sorosoke. Yes, so that's what these ones they are doing. And they are doing it and not speaking out because the people don't know. You know, the people don't know. Imagine somebody sending COVID, what do you call it, rice, or what do you call it, during her birthday. And you know, at that point, people should speak out. This is COVID rice. Unless she bought the rice and stamp the COVID. If it came from car COVID or from the federal government, or if it was the palliative sent by the federal government for the people, and you are now sharing it for your birthday, that is very, very wrong. It is even enough to recall that person. And thank God for your local government chairman, he can say whatever he likes. You know, you wait for him during the election. But most of them are not even elected. This caretaker, they just put them there. I don't know if yours was elected.
Yes, transition chairman.
Yeah. So those ones you can wait for them during election. But thank God for the representatives, the senators, the House of Assembly, and the House of Representatives. You can recall them before their tenure expires. No matter how difficult it is, I think I would love to see that process start, you know, so that everyone can pick it from there. So Ada, over to you. Say you have issues with their salaries. So you can go ahead and speak.
Of course, I have issues with their salary. I mean, 30 million naira versus 30,000 naira minimum wage. Don't you think that's the problem? You know, you have people receiving 30 million.
We have up to 200, almost 200 million people, and just 109 senators and 360 House of Rep. So if you divide that by the 200 million people, each one, you know how many people they are managing.
That's what I'm saying. So divide 30 million by 30,000. That's 1,000 minimum wages to pay. How fair do you think it is that a senator collects this kind of money versus the ordinary man on the street? And you said happiness will exist in that environment.
At all.
I mean, a medical doctor in Nigeria collects what? 500, 600, experienced though, brand new one is 150, 200. Professors in the university, this ASU strike that they are talking about, the professors that make young people become that leader of tomorrow we always talk about, they earn 250,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kefas.
Yeah, I think it's within that range, except for very senior professors who have been in the system for a very long time.
But none of them earn up to $1 million a month.
No. For where?
So even if we want to overpay, huh?
You have to be a consultant to earn that.
Even consultant anything does not earn 1 million per month. So even if we have to overpay the senators, okay, how about we start from 3 million? 3 million is still 100 minimum wages. 30 million, I have a huge issue with that because that's part of us trying to reduce the cost of governance.
No, but
maintaining them is too expensive.
What's their basic salary? It's not 750,000.
Well, they claim that their basic salary is 600,000. Then they get to use 1.2 million to read newspaper. When they all have cell phones, then they get to use 6 million to buy furniture and funny things like that. I have a problem with their salary because it's not for our economy. 30 million naira is about $80-something thousand versus 30,000 naira about $80 or $60. I mean, it does not make sense. I have a problem with that, especially, in fact, people that are lawmakers, you can always run your business on the side, you know? So like Kefa said, it's too lucrative for them. And that's why that's why they're even so disconnected from the ordinary man. Because if you earn something close to the ordinary man, you'll be close to them because your pockets align. But when you're so, money corrupt.
For that salary and allowances, it will be difficult to change for now because people that are going to change it are the people that are there.
No, it will not be difficult to change. If we call for it to be reviewed, it will be reviewed. I mean, of course, I know that they can review it and still keep padding the budget, but then that's something. Do you understand? I mean, yeah. I've read some governors that retire, and apparently their retirement is about 100 million per month. I think that's Akwa Ibom status too. Akpabio did it before he retired. So somebody like Akpabio collects 100 million per month and then collects the senator money.
So all that's double. They can review all that. Yeah. Before they review it, if you're a senator, you are collecting a certain amount, there's nothing wrong with say, oh, well, a certain percent of this that I'm collecting, I put it back into the community.
Well, that's what people like Rochester Okorocha is claiming, that he has not received any salary since he became a senator. But you and I know that that's the fast.
Hey, when they say salary is 600,000. Maybe he doesn't collect
600,000 now.
Mm-hmm. That's the salary, not the allowances. Then I see they need to pay. They pay their PA 600,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the government provides for for them, for their PAs here. I don't know if their PAs actually get that, if they are still cutting their PAs too.
No, I
But
think
you see, it's just
they cut it and give them a part of it. I mean, greed. What happens in this kind of thing is that they will always just be greedy, because it's almost like an entitlement now. You know.
Sure.
Kefas, I'm really interested in that recalling matter, because if you are able to start something to that effect, I think a lot of people actually need to be recalled. Let me tell you something. By the time one or two people gets recalled, you see that salary will be reviewed.
His own is not doing well too. So I think Romeo should initiate a recall. Kefas initiate. We try to call
by the time
Kefas
the recall is imminent, no sir, that salary will be reviewed. That's the truth. By the time they all know, because you could tell how afraid the political class was last week. Now they are settling back down.
Yeah.
As of last week, if you tell them anything, they will do it. You know? So trust me, if one person ever gets to halfway, all they just need is even the signature. They don't even have to be recalled. Just a threat to that chair. Trust me, you see that thing reviewed.
You are right.
It's just because we're just always like business as usual.
That's true.
So Kefas, what are your plans? When do we hear from your people?
Yeah,
that the recall process is.
Like I said yesterday, I went on a tour of the 10 ward of my local government. You remember I also told you that 2 local government made up my constituency. So I will have to also liaise with like mind in the other local government and see. But at least from my own local government, I will start something as soon as possible.
Beautiful. We'd love to hear that. Love to see that. So at least let's know that the process is being, even if the other local government does not support it, at least there was an attempt, which means if a particular local government is rejecting you, you know that if you are coming back for elections, you are not getting that local government, so that if you start it now, you give him some time to sit up, So if he sits up and begins to do what he needs to do, beautiful, But if not, when it comes to elections, use your PVC to kick him out. But let the recall process begin. That will. Yeah. So are there final words for the people before we leave? Nigerians, we wanted you to come out and call. If your rep is doing well, call and let us know. If he's doing poorly, call and let us know. Let us discuss it. We will call them. Bring their telephone numbers. We will call them. Let them, if they like, let them busy their calls. If they busy their calls, then we advise the people to go ahead and start the recall process. So, Ada, what's your final word for today to round up?
Nigerians are still busy dealing with Desmond Elliott, Anyway, I mean, that's something. He had to come out on live television and cry, Anyway, my final words is that it doesn't have to be business as usual. And that EndSARS protest was disrupted by, incited violence doesn't mean that we have to completely forget about what the fight is about. Yeah. It's really a reformation of the government. Like I said, I can't wait to hear what Kefas will do in their constituency, because that will just completely make everybody else do something about theirs. Fellow Nigerians, it doesn't have to be business as usual. This country belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to everybody. I still maintain the cost of maintaining the governance is too high for an economy that is constantly going down, whose GDP is absolutely nothing to write home about, and per capita income is even worse. So yes, we need to check the National Assembly from their salary to whatever they do, and the fact that they are not doing what they are supposed to do. If in your constituency you don't feel that you're being represented, please speak up and don't be afraid to gather people. Now we see that we have power in numbers. Don't be afraid to be the lead, to take up, that issue. If not for anything, to shake that person and just give him that bad image so that he never comes back. Because until we start putting people that actually understand their work, whose words mean stuff, not people that will just get there and become puppets and that turns into their vital form. They sleep there all day and just collect money and go, So representation, a reform Nigeria starts with representation. And the job of your both national and local assembly is to take care of you and make sure that development comes to your local community. If that doesn't happen, they shouldn't come back. Do whatever it takes to make sure that they don't come back, because they don't deserve to come back. If somebody does not have your interest at heart, you should not have their interest at heart. That is just what it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Kefas, please, in Hausa, final word for our Hausa speaking audience.
So, I don't know, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good. To jama'a maza da mata, muna maku gaisuwa kuma muna so ne ku kara gane da cewa wannan lokacin da ake ciki lokaci ne wanda ya kamata mu al'umma mu bude idanunmu mu kuma ga abinda shugabane suke yi musamman 'yan majalisa wato 'yan House of Rep da House of Assembly da kuma sanatoci ya kamata mu duba ayyukan da suke yi domin mu san ko suna aiki ko ba su aiki kuma shi ita constitution na Najeriya ta ba mu dama domin mu yi recall wato mu kira duk wani dan majalisa wanda baya aiki a constituency nashi to muna rokonku domin in ba mu yi haka ba wayannan shugabannin za su ci gaba suna danna mana hakkinmu suna karban albashi kuma ba za su yi aiki ba nagode.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, everyone. So you guys can see, if you can see what's on the screen, it's actually a constituency project somewhere in the Niger Delta.
What? This is serious.
That's a toilet. That's a toilet here. So you can see this same river where the toilet is made, the waste will drop into the water on this side, And on the other side, maybe not up to 100 meters, that's where they take their bath. And then they now go deep inside the water to get.
I mean, it's a pilgrimage site. So people can actually.
Yeah. You should go ahead and recall that.
Center.
You should go ahead now and recall that person. Whoever did this should be recalled. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Until we'll come back with this topic again. We have 700 and how many local governments in Nigeria, and 360 constituencies and 109 senatorial districts. So it's not what we can cover in one day. We hope it gets to a time where people can come out, But okay, so we'll encourage you on what to do. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Romeo. Thank you, Ada, for coming. And thank you, viewers. Till we meet again, remain blessed. God help Nigeria.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
This is
bye-bye.
Nigeria, the real home of the black people. We are great nation, great nation, great nation, Nigeria. Good people living together in a great nation, great nation, Nigeria.